jostling for position along the dock. This looks chaotic, but believe me, there is order to this mayhem. Hi, I'm Matt, and welcome to another edition of Borders on Budgets. On this episode, we're going to take a short ferry ride to the historic Bose Island in Port Blair, India, on the archipelago of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Halt! Tundra vegetation. Surprisingly works out here.
Say, this torpedo tube is...
I can't say I blame the crowds for showing up on a day like today. It is absolutely gorgeous in early March on a Sunday morning, perfect for a boat ride and a history lesson. The boat operators are vigilant about the passengers wearing life jackets because a couple of weeks ago the authorities came by and shut down ferry service for 2 days because of the lack of safety. And losing a couple of days of boat time would be a punitive penalty for these operators. Figuring each ride is 350 rupee, or about $5 American, 10 or 12 passengers per boat for the half-an-hour round trip, and several trips a day. Yeah, that's good money by India standard. Ooh, that was a good one. I don't have to stick my camera too close to the water's edge. It's coming right on board. There's the sign about life jackets. That makes it official. What's the boat name? What time do we return?
Return time at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock return time.
Okay.
Boat name Pushpa.
Okay. Well, we're under a time crunch for this story. 1 hour to be back on the boat, and that hour will have to suffice to explore the recently renamed Netaji, Subhash, Chandra, Bose Dweep. The W is silent, Dweep meaning island. Bose was the Indian nationalist who in 1945 first raised India's tricolors of green, white, and orange, all the while this territory was under the occupation of the Japanese during the Second World War. 30 rupee, or 50 cents, to enter the Dweep. The Dweep is cheap, but a whole list of illegal activities and their subsequent fines could make this trip prohibitive if I should run afoul. Oh, by the way, time check, 11:05. Well, that's awfully inviting to feed the deer one of the coconuts, but I believe that's one of the activities that's on the prohibitive list. So Bose Island, established in 1858, was the British headquarters for the Andaman and Nicobar Islands archipelago, and it was set up originally as a penal colony to imprison those Indians who were seeking their independence during what was the First Independence War of 1857. Though I don't consider his actions historic, I don't get a chance to see people climb coconut trees too often. Admittedly, I was expecting to see a building of the Victorian era, but probably 160 years ago, this officer's quarters on Bose Island would have been stately. Upon which man built, nature is reclaiming. Look at the intricacy of the roots of this tree and how it has draped itself around the crumbling building. Okay, I know my limit, but still, I wanted to see how far I could get from the crowds and have some isolation on this island. If Bose Island, Ross Island, Port Blair, and the Andamans were originally established in 1858 as a penal colony, it was in Port Blair where the Cellular jail was finished its construction in 1906. And with room for 693 convicts, the prisoners who were sent here to this archipelago, 1,200 kilometers from India's mainland, which a century ago, this would have been the ends of the earth, it was those convicts who were taking part for independence for India. And one of the deer wants to see us off. Does this life jacket look as bulky as it makes me feel? Well, it's what's necessary for the ferry ride. Yes, I would have wanted to spend longer on Bose Island, but that ship, she's ready to sail back to Port Blair. So the story ends right now. This has been another edition of Borders on Budgets. A reminder, Borders on Budgets. Long distance hikes, slices of life, not a lot of money. From Bose Island, just off of Port Blair, in the archipelago of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands in India. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Which one means avalanche? This is a corner of one of the two remaining wings of the Cellular jail in Port Blair. And it was here where Indian revolutionaries were incarcerated beginning in the early 20th century, and they were fighting for this country's independence from the British Empire. Did you like this episode? Great! Help Borders on Budgets grow. Hit the subscribe button below. Don't forget to share this story with your friends who would love to travel in India. And yeah, don't be afraid to leave a comment or even a like. Thank you very much.